Well, fantastic. Well, again, this is Chris Robinson, and I reside in the great state of New Jersey. I hope you all can come and visit us sometime. And I want to thank you for a few minutes of your time today. Uwe and I hope to present a very interesting, educational, and compelling story here around Parttrap One. So Parttrap, we're an Epicor ISV, and we partner with really outstanding organizations like Estes Group and the team to present a fully integrated solution, Epicor solution, for companies who are really interested in selling more product, providing more information about their product. And that's our objective here today, to help you tell a better story about the products and services that you sell. So as you see, here's our agenda. We'll go through this very quickly, and I promise you we're going to spend a lot of time seeing a live demo of Parttrap and the value that it has given our many North American and global Epicor customers. So we've already gone through the survey, and I appreciate those who responded. It sounds like many of you will have a great fit for what we do. So a little bit about Parttrap. We've been around for close to 25 years. We are a global company. Out of the box, we're going to have multi-currency, multilingual capabilities for those of you who are looking to expand your global reach and personalize your story and your products to the specific markets and currencies that you engage with. Our focus is really manufacturing and distribution companies and we work in both primarily the B2B market, but we also have many manufacturers who also sell B2C and use Parttrap to expand their reach of their products and revenue. You also see in the bottom left there B2B, B2X. That is our dealer portal. It's our understanding that a number of you on the call today do manufacture or distribute a product, but you also sell through a channel of value-added dealers and or distributors. And we believe we have a pretty good solution that we can share with you today. So a little bit about Parttrap One, how we're somewhat different from, say, other products on the market. We can be on-prem or we can be in the cloud. Our license can be either a SaaS model, software as a service model, as you've heard in the previous outstanding presentations from Estes Group today, or a perpetual license. Although today, most of our customers are going in the SaaS model and in the cloud. Out of the box, Parttrap includes, as mentioned, a full real-time integration with Epicor, to include even if Epicor goes down at the back end, which hopefully will not happen when you're being supported by Estes Group. But if, God forbid, it does, you can continue to take orders and grab information through your website. And once Epicor comes back up, it's a full replication included in this. So it's real-time integration, as you'll see, with the products, the pricing, inventory availability. But also, we include CMS, which is an acronym for Content Management Solution. What that means is Parttrap out of the box includes the ability to build a very robust and compelling front-end website. However, if you already have a website that you've invested in, you're comfortable with, we're going to show you how you can attach our spare parts management, our dealer portal right to that, so you can reuse the investment that you've already made. So Parttrap has the integration, content management, and another acronym there is PIM, which stands for Product Information Management. Well, what is that? In essence, that is the central repository. Think of your data, think of it as your data warehouse where all of the images, product descriptions, technical documentation, customer reviews. Hey, you looked at this product, you might also be interested in that product for every channel that you sell. You may manufacture a product that's sold through a different marketplace, be it Amazon or some other industry marketplace. They may have specific requirements and for the kinds of images and information, et cetera. And that's all handled in the Parttrap PIM. And as previously mentioned, out of the box, B2B, B2C, and B2B 2X for your dealer portal, all in one. We already had our survey, so we're going to go through this. But we are going to focus our demo today on our spare parts management, our dealer channel, and the ability to enrich a product so that the products that you sell tell the best possible story. So if I'm a company that manufactures mountain climbing equipment, I want to start my story right here. And I'm going to continue with our story because the world has certainly changed. I think personally for us and doing business for us, many of you may be finally going back to the office or attending trade shows or dinner out with your family, okay? And that's how it's impacted us maybe personally. But COVID has also greatly impacted the B2B marketplace in that industry research tells us that it's probably accelerated by 5 years, the B2B e-commerce adoption, the ability for your customer to go to your website, find everything they need about the product to place an order, or get on the phone and call you if that's your business process. Product information has really become the digital front door of your business. The fact of the matter is, especially the younger generation, I'm a baby boomer and I do it myself, but so many of the younger generation now, they're starting research on products in the web and they don't care. They expect to see the same information, same amount of content, whether it's on their office computer, their laptop, their smartphone, their iPad, whatever it is they're using to gain information. They expect a quality customer experience. And we're all about helping turn your product digital information into revenue. So think of the 3D drawings. Maybe you have complex drawings, 3D, 2D drawings, whatever. We're going to help turn that into revenue. We'll make this slide deck available. I'm not going to read each and every one or so, but this customer, Halton's, they needed a solution to better manage their dealers. They were finding that when they went to their dealers' websites, there was incorrect or outdated content or outdated pricing or products that no longer were active still being listed on their website, which could lead to a real customer service issue. And Logis Next, they wanted, one of their business drivers was they wanted to increase the sales of their spare parts and replacement parts because their experience has shown that they typically can command a higher profit margin than the initial truck sale. Because, again, people are going to look at 2 or 3 or 4 different products before they settle on one. So price is very important. Once they purchase that machine, for example, the spare part, if it's broken or needs to be replaced, price becomes less of an issue. So now I'm going to turn it over to our founder and CEO, Ove Tengberg. Ove has tremendous experience working with Epicor partners and has personally been involved in a number of these customers. So Ove, I'll stop sharing and looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Yes, thank you. I'll share my desktop.
We see it.
Great. Thank you, Chris, and good afternoon, everyone. So thank you for inviting me to this event here. It's exciting. I want to talk a little bit about some customers, examples of customers. I'll show you some live examples from what other customers or companies are doing, companies like yourself running Epicor. So the list of companies you see here is just an extraction of our customer base, but they represent the typical target for us, so to speak. Most of them are Epicor users. They are based either in North America or in Europe. They are manufacturers or distributors. They sell through dealer network, like Chris talked about, or they, in some cases, they sell directly. And I'll give some more examples on that later on. I would say all of them sell or manufacture complex products, and that could be complex offerings. It could be configurable products. It could be products with accessories or spare parts. And many of these companies manufacture equipment that need replacement parts. So there's an aftermarket for many of them. And finding the correct spare part is not an easy job in all cases. So an efficient way of sort of guiding the dealer or the end user to the right part is essential actually for making any profit on this. Most of them sell on multiple markets, specifically the European companies. They sell throughout different markets in Europe. They sell in North America, and they need to support multiple languages, currencies, and also their own subsidiaries or sales companies, and also dealer networks globally. So I'm going to give you an example from one of these companies, Permobil, and they are a global manufacturer of what they call powered wheelchair, electrical wheelchairs. They are all over the place in about 20 markets today. They sell about 200,000 of these advanced powered wheelchairs per year, and they have a great aftermarket situation where they can support their dealer network and end users with accessories and spare parts 24/7. So they need to have the support for multiple markets, languages, and currencies, like I mentioned, but they also need to support multiple ERPs. And that's actually possible with the Parttrap platform, that we can connect not only Epicor companies, but also other ERP systems like Microsoft or other ERP systems actually in the same setup. So this is a great benefit when you're a global company working in many markets. You may acquire new companies and need to integrate them into your infrastructure. So you need to be able to add new ERP systems to the platform. I'm going to switch over to a demo where I'm going to show you how they sell spare parts to their customers. So they have set up a number of different sites. Some of them are market sites with corporate content. This specific site is primarily for sales of spare parts and accessories for certain markets. So when somebody logs in, could be a dealer, could be an end user, when they log in, they meet this dashboard where they can find the latest orders. They can, of course, search for all orders, and they can always reach all orders and invoices that exist in your Epicor system, not only the ones that have been placed through the portal. It's actually a window right into your Epicor system. They can also create their own shopping lists if they reorder the same type of products quite often. They can have favorite products where they set up individual products that they may need to access quickly. And they have what we call My Area, where they can get the customer service they need, for example, order tracking, things like that. But I'm going to focus on spare parts today. So they have a very easy access to the spare part search here. You can either search by finding your model and then your module and drill down to the smallest component, or you can search directly on a spare part by name or part number. It's also possible to use serial number if necessary. But let's search for example, an M3 2020. I know that my spare part I'm looking for is placed in the chassis, and it's in the swing arm front right. So this is a simple way to drill down to a certain small tiny portion of the product. And the system will load an exploded view that represents this component. And they have thousands of exploded views. They have added hotspots on top of the exploded views. So instead of just a paper catalog, they actually have a live catalog which is updated constantly. And their customers can access this information anytime, 24/7. And the customers, they actually learn that they access exactly the same information as Permobil does themselves. So they stop calling the customer service. They understand that they can find the information much easier themselves using this interface. And they can actually print out, if they want to, a catalog page like this. And it's automatically created on the fly based on the latest information. So you have your image, you have your bill of material, and you have additional information down here. It could be in any language, could include price if you like. It's also possible if you don't have the energy to add the hotspots, you can actually order directly from a list of components. So these are components relevant for this search I did. Or they can use the interactive exploded view by hovering over the hotspots. And you can see that even the bill of material will be linked to the individual components like this. And this can be achieved using a standard file type called SVG. And this is something you can get out of your CAD system automatically. So if you create these drawings in your CAD system, you can produce an SVG file with this interaction and with the hotspots automatically. And we can read that file and convert that into something you can use to order. So for example, if I want to order this item, I click on it, it goes directly into Epicor, it finds the product, it knows the next delivery date, it will tell you if it's available or not, and I'm now hiding the price because this is a public presentation, so to speak, but normally the price is here, and that, of course, is your net price calculated by Epicor logic. So you get your closest warehouse, the availability, you get your net price, and you can place the order immediately, clicking the button. So this way, you have made sure that the user or end customer has actually identified the correct spare part. And that is a dramatic change compared to somebody discussing over phone with customer service, trying to explain what they're looking for. And in many cases, they get the wrong part. Here, they always get the right part. So this is an example of how you can use interactive exploded views. I will move one step further and show you how you can improve the interactivity much more and actually provide better usability. So Permobil has decided to use, again, the existing CAD files that they produce using SolidWorks or Autodesk or similar CAD systems. And of course, they use these CAD drawings for production and construction, but they can now also use them for sales. And this is something you should think about. If you are now producing a lot of CAD files for production, why not rethink and use them also for sales? Because you can do like this. You can add it to the site. You can let your customers zoom in. They can point at a module on the product, click here and drill down to the next level. And in this case, I'm actually looking for the battery inside here. And now you can seamlessly move between 3D and 2D. So again, the last step here is to find that exploded view that we have prepared, where you have your battery, you click on it, you read that it's available quite soon, and you can order it like that. So you don't need to do all at once. You don't need to create 3D for all your products. You can choose your newest release or the most frequent product to sell, do the 3D thing on that one, and then drill down to the more simple 2D drawings to provide this service to your customers. So this is an example of how you can use interaction to let the customer take responsibility for the identification of the spare part and order it directly. And of course, the customer is satisfied to know when it's arriving. They will know the price. They get the order number immediately on the screen when they place the order. So the checkout is, of course, very simple. They go to the cart. They check out like this. They decide if it's going to be an order, request for a quote, or something else, and use the normal checkout procedure. So that was spare parts. Now I'm going to go to the next step and talk about configurations. Because in many cases, manufactured parts can be quite complex. And in many cases, manufacturers claim that it's impossible to sell these products online because they're complex. They need a sales engineer to guide the user. But today, the technology has come so far, so you can actually run a 3D configurator in your mobile phone. I'm going to display this on the computer screen, but you can run this on your smartphone, of course. And again, you will use your existing CAD data if you have that. You don't need to take any product photos any longer. You can actually create photos or sort of visualizations based on the 3D drawings. And that has been done in this case that I'm going to display now. So I'm going to show you just a simple example of how you can customize or configure a snowplow. So I will now move into another site. This is just a demo site for Parttrap, and this site is set up as a demo for spare part sales. And as you see, we have examples of plain interaction with an image, like the ones you normally have in your paper catalogs. Or you can extend the functionality and add SVG files, which gives you some animation with coloring and all that. Or you can go all the way and have 3D models representing the product, and you can rotate it and point at a certain product. Now I'm going to show you how you can use the same technology to configure something. So let's say that you're looking for a snowplow. It's almost season for that now, at least here in Sweden. And while you're configuring, you have a 3D representation of your product all the time. So if I attach something on the top, on the back here, it will actually hook on and you can see it. You can make some changes. Maybe you want to have tilted or straight cutting edge. You may want to have kickstands. And you may want to have a larger size. And maybe you want a yellow product. So this is the final product. You can check it out. You can take a snapshot of it and you can get that as an attachment to the order, so you know what you ordered. And the system will also calculate the price in this case, and you order the product by clicking the button. And the thing is now that the configurator will create a bill of material for you. So in the cart, you don't have one item, you have all the different components you need to build this, so you can actually assemble it yourself. And this is in many cases what you require if you're running Epicor and you would like to assemble this. So depending on how you set up your backend in Epicor, you may have a configurator in Epicor which we can feed with the product data, or you may want to end up with a sales order in Epicor and we can provide that sales order directly from the site. So in this case, I just check out and get the order confirmation. I know the price, I know the availability, when it's going to arrive to me, and I'm happy. So this is a good example of a very simple configuration. And I think the interesting thing here is that we can set up this either with very simple configurations, we call them guided selling or wizards, but it could also be more complex setups. And you can display the configuration in 2D or, like in this case, in 3D. 3D, of course, will require you to have that 3D model available. But you should know that we have the tools in the platform to convert that 3D file from your CAD system into something you can use like this. Okay, the third option or third feature I will demonstrate today is something we call the dealer portal, or B2B2X, as Chris said. And a dealer portal, of course, that could be a simple website where your dealer can log in, place the order, get their own agreed price. They will get the order delivered to the address they specify, and that's it. So that's a simple type of dealer portal. But what we're talking about here is a situation where you may be a manufacturer, you may have a dealer network, and those dealers have end customers that would like to place orders. And your dealer network may not be capable of providing good enough web solutions to sell efficiently. So as a manufacturer, you can assist your dealers to set up dealer sites, including all the products they need, including, for example, configurations that the dealer would never manage to do themselves. But as a manufacturer, you can do that for them. So if you look at the image on the right side here, you have your system and you may sort of brand the site to look like the dealer's site and present the products and make them available for purchase from the end customer. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in a few seconds here. The important thing is that we have a solution that can support your collaboration as a manufacturer, your collaboration with your sales channels, and create a bond between you and your dealer network, because you can provide a lot of assistance to dealer network. This is one example, but we also have examples where we can provide quotation systems for the dealer network, so the dealer can create quotes to the end customer. And of course, that has a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is that you as a manufacturer will get more information from the market, because you can see exactly what's happening at the end user level, because all that will happen in your site suddenly. So if your dealer is creating a quotation, you as a manufacturer will be able to follow exactly what they're quoting. They will see the end user's activity on the site, and you can draw conclusions out of that. Maybe it's going to be more clear when I give you an example here. So in this case, I am actually logged in as a dealer. As a dealer, I have control over all the orders I've placed. I can search for quotes, I can search for invoices, I have my favorite products, my shopping lists. I have everything I need to be a good dealer, and I can place orders in this site, ordering, for example, snowplows. But I'm now going to act as the end customer. So I go in here and I log in as an end customer to the same site. So now suddenly I have, as an end customer, logged into exactly the same site, but it's branded like Estes Group. So if Estes Group was a dealer for these products, then this is what it would look like. I can still access exactly the same products, the same functionality, spare part management. I can access the configurator if I want to. So as you understand, the dealer doesn't have to maintain anything. They get everything for free, all the product data, everything exactly as they like it. And they get, of course, the assortment they have chosen to sell to their end customers. And one extra very important thing is that the prices shown in this site is not the dealer prices, it's actually the end customer prices. And the way to achieve that is to let the dealer upload the end customer prices to the portal. So now we can give the dealer a portal branded as their profile with their assortment they sell to their end customers and also the end customer pricing. So let's say that I, as an end customer, would like to order something. For example, I would like to have a spare part, and I search for it somehow, and okay, here is the product I'm looking for. So here I see all the data that is managed and maintained by the manufacturer. So the dealer doesn't need to do anything about this. They have everything they need. They have downloadable documents, videos, manuals, whatever they need. They have a price, which is the end customer price, and they can easily add this to the cart. So now the question is, let's say the end customer places the order now. Does the dealer actually accept that? What happens if somebody logs in, places a crazy order, and that goes in? Because this is actually going to be treated as a dealer order to the manufacturer. So what we've done here is that we set up a limitation. So there is a limit. How much can the end customer purchase for before it has to be approved by the dealer? And the limit we have set here is $1,500. And this is now only 560. So if I go to the cart and I can actually see the amount here, it's not visible for the end customer normally, but we have made it visible for the presentation. So if I go to the cart as an end user and I check out, I can create my address. Maybe this is the address in the US. I continue. Here is the order, and I confirm it. Now, this was a very small amount. So now the order confirmation is ready. I have an order number, I have delivery date, I'm happy as an end customer. And the amount was small enough to just pass without any approval from the dealer. But let's say now that I would like to place a larger order. So I go back here and I order the same product again, but I need to place 3 to exceed that limit. So if I go to the cart now, you can see that the price is $1,680. So this means that I've exceeded the approval amount that the dealer has set. And what happens when I check out? This is also just information for you. It does not display for the end customer. It's something that the system knows, and it tells you now during the demonstration. We continue to delivery. You can choose when to deliver it, go to payment, confirm the order. And it will actually tell us now that one or several criteria have triggered this order for approval. So what happens now? Well, the system will send an email to the dealer saying that your customer has now placed an order, it has exceeded your limit, so you need to go in and approve that. So let's say we log out now as the customer and we log in as the dealer again. You have to tell me if it's difficult to follow. But now I have got an email saying that my end customer has placed an order. I need to go in and approve that. So I go into the site, I go to my area, and I look, waiting for approval. Here, all orders will appear that are waiting for my approval. So now I can see that Brad Feeks has placed an order today, and I can view it. I can choose to reject the order or approve it. I decide to approve it. So now the order goes into Epicor. It's now an order placed by the dealer into the manufacturer, and the dealer will charge the end customer based on information that we send from the portal. So now the dealer can see that, okay, these are the orders that we have approved. There's one rejected for some reason. Yeah, we don't trust this guy, it says. So it's rejected and nothing else is waiting. So now the whole procedure, the whole workflow is ready. So this was an example of how we can set up a dealer portal that is really a dealer portal, not just a portal where the dealer can place orders. It's actually a collaboration between manufacturer, dealer network, and the end customers, and everyone is happy. So I will switch back to you now, Chris.
Hey, Ove, before you do, go back to the snowplow screen, the initial screen you went to.
This one?
Front end. Yes. So just as a refresher, again, out of the box, Parttrap includes the ability using our content management tools and something we call Parttrap Studio to build a very robust website. Now, if you pull that screen down a little bit, let's just look at all the components of it, which includes search engine optimization tools. So if someone does a Google on snowplows and your company has paid the appropriate monies to Google so that you appear high up in the search, once they hit your website, they expect to see a lot of interesting and images, a lot of content and information. So pull that down a little bit further, and you'll have the ability, of course, all the information is there for you. So in our case here, we have the demo sites there in the bottom. It says snowplow, but also golf store. That's where maybe you want to offer B2C services too, like Volvo is one of our customers, trucks and hats and keychains and whatever it may be, shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, etc. That's all available on from the B2C side. So again, our CMS takes care of that. And bring that screen back up. The image you see of the snowplow or of the beautiful forest there, the mountains, whatever, those would be specific images that are stored, that you decide they're stored within the Parttrap BIM, as well as the 2D or 3D SVG drawings that we mentioned. And then using Studio, we can train you, the marketing team or the commerce team from each of your organizations, to do that, enrich it, or we can do it as a service. Parttrap does offer a consulting service to enrich your products. So all we would need to be added to the PIM would be from your engineering department, the 2D or 3D drawings, and then, of course, just the descriptions, technical documentation, images, whatever, PDFs, etc., that help enrich your product. So I hope that, taking that extra step. Now, Ove, one more thing. In the survey, there was a lot of interest in warranty. So I sell a new snowplow and I want to upsell them with a warranty. Could you just talk briefly about the ability of Parttrap to help drive new revenue and manage warranties?
Yes, sure. So you can either, well, typically when you sell equipment, there is a warranty included in the sales. You may have different options. You may include 1 year warranty, but you can extend that immediately at the first stage to 2 or 3 years, or you may want to extend that warranty at a later stage. So we can create those warranty as contract lines on the sales order in Epicor. And then we can track that when it's time to extend the warranty. Then the customer can get a notification that it's now time to extend. They can go in with a link and they can add another year for a certain amount. And also, of course, if they use our claim and return module, when they claim something to be broken, for example, the system will check if the warranty is still valid and use that warranty. So there are a lot of functionality available on top of what you've seen right now. And some modules, like the claim module, will also give you the ability to communicate and interact with your customer online, and also handle the back end of warranty claims. So I think that is an example of how you can sell warranty online. We can make it happen in the back end of Epicor and use that for claim processes later.
And all of the appropriate dashboard reports that these other customers whose warranty is going to expire in December, and using our campaign module to get push information out to them, whether it's an email or whatever it might be, to re-up their warranty so they stay in compliance. So what we saw here was in the dealer portal, Ove took it a step further and provided some excellent examples of the flexibility and customization of Parttrap to meet the specific business rules and business model that our customers live by every single day. So we're not trying to force you into one box. You've built a very strong, successful business. We're here to help our products and services really expand your client base and revenue to continue to have long-term profitable customers. So a few best practices before we wrap up here for some questions. So in making a decision, there's a number of stakeholders that typically are involved, as well as specific building blocks to build a successful commerce portal like you just saw. And when we say, ladies and gentlemen, some of you may not sell product. You want to use Parttrap as more of a content and information website. Your model is not to sell. You're getting purchase orders or EDI orders. You don't take orders over the web today. That may change. We certainly can handle that requirement too. I don't want you to think that it's only for companies that would sell something and collect payment over the web. And speaking of payments, out of the box, if I ordered that spared, Brad ordered that spare part and he needed it rushed right away, we have the ability to integrate with multiple payment processing solutions like eBiz Charge, which is fully integrated right back into Epicor. So we've eliminated double entry of entering the quote or the order into Epicor. And also it's a seamless integration from the credit card payment right back to the accounts receivable for that order, that invoice right within Epicor. Okay, so there's various building blocks, and then your choices of being a single or multiple vendor. So next slide, please, Ove. Typical stakeholders are going to be, your customer itself, finding out from your customer what would make it easier to do business with you. It's got to be simple, and people expect the simplicity like an Amazon gives you today. Your sales staff, think of using Parttrap also as a sales tool for your sales staff or customer service rep. We don't charge by the number of users. We don't try and penalize you for using our product. Whether you have 1 or 500, they all can use Parttrap, no difference in the cost. Marketing, we're here to help your marketing team get the latest product information out to, so make sure marketing is involved in the decision, as well as customer service, we mentioned them. And for your IT, it's got to be simple. As I mentioned earlier, it's be hosted on Azure, hosted on your own on-prem cloud or some private cloud. Next slide, please. All those stakeholders are involved. These are the building blocks to have a successful solution, something that a tool that has a lot of content. I can't underestimate the real-time integration with Epicor, eliminating double entry, eliminating mistakes, and improving customer service. And you need the ability to enrich your products, so it should have a PIM. Many other companies, products out there require you to have a separate PIM or a very limited PIM. And again, the B2B or B2C or dealer e-commerce. Next slide. So your choice is really multiple vendors, which adds the complexity and cost and upgrades and eventually finger pointing, or go to a single stack solution that's partnered with Estes Group and Epicor. And we believe the bottom line will be a much faster ROI and a more successful implementation. And next slide. Just as a reminder, out of the box, Parttrap includes all of those. Next slide. And let's go right to our offer, and then we can come back into Q&A. So as a follow-up, what we will offer is a no-cost review. A no-cost review of your current situation, challenges, needs. It needn't take a whole lot of time, but we'll come back with some suggested possible ways forward, and you would coordinate that through Brad and the Rob and the outstanding professionals with Estes Group. So having said that, I think we're right on time. We're about 10 minutes of, maybe a little earlier. We'd like to open up for any not only questions. I really would value some feedback from the folks that are out there, our audience today, on what you saw, and if you see that relevant for the way you would present your products to your customers. So if we could open up the
absolutely, and we did. While I'm pulling my screen up, I'll just go ahead. In the sake of time, we had a question. Ove mentioned that the configuration released an order which compromised of individual parts in the configured BOM. Can it drive the release of a single part which corresponds to the configuration instead?
Yes, we could convert that into a configurable part that is understood in Epicor as a configurable part, and then deliver potentially in UD fields all the details, all the selections made in the configuration on the web. So we load the configured item as a single item, single order line. It will be handled by the Epicor configurator using the attached UD field content.
We had a second question from Robert. What is the licensing model for the Parttrap product?
It's one single license, server-based license. You can have as many users as you like, both internal and external users. So we charge for the first company, and then we charge for additional Epicor companies, like 25% additional license cost per extra company. So if you're one single company, then it's one license. If you have two additional companies, for example, Canada and Mexico, it's another 50% on top of that. So that's the model. We are. It's important for us that we don't limit the number of users. It doesn't have to be named users; could be any type of users, and you can also divide your users into different categories or personas. And like we showed with the branding of the site, you can actually do that based on logged in personas as well. So you can group your customers or users. You can give them different interaction, different menu structure, different product assortment, different everything basically within that sort of license.
Thank you, Ove. We have another question. How is this different from the Epicor e-commerce module? What effect does this have on Epicor for performance? Excuse me. And did you provide assistance on building configurators? So 3 for 1.
Yeah, the performance. We have a model where we actually read raw data from Epicor, and it's a synchronization, or sorry, it's a replication of Epicor data, which is on what we call transactional level, which means that only data that changes in Epicor will actually be transferred over to the web. So it doesn't put any load on your production server. And the good thing with reading raw data is that if, like Chris said earlier, if you take your Epicor system down for some reason, or the application server, then we don't need that application server because we have all the raw data we need. We have all the logic we need, the Epicor logic in our web platform. So we can still continue to sell online while Epicor is down. When Epicor is up and running again, we take all those queued orders and push them into Epicor. So that gives you the best of two worlds, very good performance because we have cached the data outside of Epicor. It doesn't read a massive amount of data. It reads only what has been changed in Epicor.
How does this differ from the Epicor e-commerce module or that is offered?
Well, the Epicor ECC is more or less a connection between Epicor and Magento, which is a large e-commerce platform. So ECC is Magento with a connection to Epicor, basically. Mm. So, of course, Magento is a capable, good e-commerce platform. It may not be so B2B centric as our platform, and it doesn't have natively the features that we've shown today. These are all native functionality made specifically for Epicor users running a B2B model. So I think both systems are great. I'm very satisfied with how we can handle the load on Epicor. It doesn't put any load on your production server, as I said. We have the ability to run it even if Epicor is down, which is quite unusual. And we have a very attractive license model if you are using, if you want to allow multiple dealers and customers to access the site.
Do you provide this is another question, do you provide a software as a service solution for those who don't want to host this product?
Absolutely. Okay. We actually, I would say 80% of new customers, they choose to go the SaaS path. So we offer Azure hosting of the platform, but you can have your Epicor system either on-prem or in the cloud. It doesn't really matter. So we have what you call a hybrid solution where we are flexible enough to cover for any setup you like. So it could be in Azure, it could be hosted by Estes Group, of course, or it could be on-prem if you prefer that.
Okay, good information. Last question is, say a customer has an environment where they have a combination of point of sale and e-commerce and accept credit cards for both of them. How do you have the capability to handle that sort of scenario?
Yes, absolutely. We have a built-in point of sale solution, also web-based. So you can charge over the counter using credit card or gift cards or checks or whatever, cash. And we handle that with all the processes in the back end of Epicor. And it's actually exactly the same platform as we use for the online sales on the web.
Ove, Chris, you guys have done an amazing job of explaining a pretty capable product here, and we do appreciate your contribution this afternoon. I think at this point, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you again. And a very impressive product. We're going to take a quick break. And while we're doing that, Cindy's going to put a poll up asking about that will be applicable to our next session. So Cindy, do you have that?
I got it. It's out there.
You're
Thank you,
awesome.
everyone.
Thank you, Ove and Chris. That was wonderful.